Welcome back. This is Elixium Plays and this is Elixium Raids. This is your channel for news and raid videos. Today we're going to be talking about a dragon team that I have not seen anyone else running. So let's jump right into it. I've seen, last time we spoke about dragon, we were talking about beginner strategies of how to be able to progress in dragons with Artak. Today we're going to be looking at what I personally run on Dragon Heart 10, which is the highest difficulty on Dragon. Um, I wanted to show you guys because a really fast farm, and it's really designed around how we used to farm Dragon 20 with poisons, and now I've made up this team that can do almost a minute on dragons, and it's really cool because it uses a bunch of the other champions that do poison explosions and put extensions of poisons, and it works, has a lot of passive that work really well together for damage mitigation and also cleansing and adding poisons. So in this team, as you guys can see here, we have the usual suspects where we have an Leonardo, we have Barel, a reset champion, and here we have Corvus, which is one of my favorite poison champions now in the end game. The reason is because he can put a bunch of poison and poison sensitivity and also extension. And then we have also a Python there to help with the damage mitigation. So in this team, we're getting double damage mitigation, one coming from buff placed by Python. So for every buff that we put, we get damage mitigation from him, and then from every poison that we put into the boss, we also get damage mitigation from Corvus. So let's do a quick run so you guys can see how it usually goes. I'm just gonna leave this one go full speed just so you guys can see how fast this clears, and then we'll do a backup run again just so you guys can see slow speed how all the skills chain back to back, and I'll show you guys presets and stats and how you can build this for your own account. So this is a little bit of more of an in-game build. I'll show you stats later. My champions are overstated just because I use them on over the other places, and or just because that's where the gear that I have laying around kind of sits them at. But I'll show you guys where you guys need to be and how to gear them. So it just all has to do with who goes first, who posts what. So then Corvus can lap around and extend poisons, or Elenaro catch up back again a second time and rip all those poisons to clear all the waves. And now in the boss here, you guys can see where you're just chaining all these ability extensions and damage mitigation. When Elenaros dies in this portion of the boss, that's when we get the fastest times. And here, the one that the people who need to stay alive are the people who put the most poisons. So probably Corvus and Battle, so they can put poisons and buffs, and that gives us damage mitigation from Python and Corvus. So you guys can see this is a really fast round. This is a flat minute. That was at 2x speed and unlimited frames on a PC. Yeah, I bought a new PC. I know last time we were watching a video from us, we were getting a lot of green, ugly discoloration from my old computer. But now we have a new and improved rig that is doing so much better, I hope, for you guys. But anyways, let's go back and rewatch how all this comes back together. I'll put it at 1x speed so I can just walk you through what each one of my champions are doing at the moment, right? Let's put this at 1 speed. So we open up with the reset champion that does nothing here. I'll be put poison sensitivity and 4 poisons from Corvus, then goes Elenaros, then goes Barel. So the trick is now in here we're not allowing Barel to take a second turn before we wipe the wave, so that way we save a couple of seconds. So that's a little bit of time save. Now with the reset, we do the same. Poisons from Corvus, poisons from Elenaros. Now we go poisons from Barel, and now in this run, again, Barel doesn't get the second turn, and Elenaros just ripped them all off and killed them. Now we get at the boss. Here, this is the important portion. We open up with Corvus. Corvus tries to put the damage down, but it doesn't land it, which is fine. Right now you can see there's an attack up on the boss. There's a chance that, yeah, there you go. Kymar ripped it out, so that helps us with damage mitigation too. Now we put poisons up So we have a lot of control here in this round. The nicest part about this is since we have Python here and Corvus is a 100% run. This has never failed for me. It has gone up more than a minute. It might sometimes go to up to like a minute 20 if we have a lot of people that survives in this way. So the more Kaimar and Elenaro stays alive, the slower the run is. But as the if we can manage to have them die or lower their stats, the faster the run will be because not a lot of useless turns are going to be taken. So as you guys can see, they're taking turns, but sometimes after the all the bar of debuffs is full, all the turns that our team takes it just slows us down because now we're just taking extra turns that is doing nothing for us. All right. Let me show you guys what the presets are for this, so you guys can do it for yourselves. And there we go, Dragon 10. So we always start with Field of Research, which is the poison ability from Corvus. And then in second turn, when they lap around, he'll be putting just extending everyone's buffs. So that's why we have them. It's a loose speed tune. They don't really have. They're not really tight speed tunes right now. So that's why probably we could lower this a little bit more if we were optimizing for speed. And don't get scared on the speed that's showing right now on the right side. Corvus doesn't have to be that fast. It's just the gear that I have laying around. This is my main account. Last time we were on my free-to-play, so it has a lot of lower gear sets. In here, this is a 4-year-old account that I grind gear every day. So any gear that I put in any champion is going to have pretty high stats. So in reality, Corvus just only needs to be faster than everyone else. So you can just beat them really close together. As long as Elenaros doesn't have any speed boosting, you can lower all this just to be faster than the boss. Right now, I just have them kind of like loosely tuned because I didn't want to bother and re-gearing or redoing the masters of anyone here because I used them in other parts of the game. So this is just the beauty of this team that the only person that I actually built for this was Corvus. Everyone else I was using on some other type of build or dungeon team. So if you build this for yourself, you'll be able to use most of your champions as is if you are using them on Ice Golem or other areas of the game. All right, let's go for Elenaro. Elenaro is the same thing, just opens up putting poisons. So all of the champions are going to just start with their poison abilities, and then when she laps around, she's just going to rip all of those buffs and kill all the ads. Same thing, so Kaimar, this is pretty standard for any like speedrun setup. You always have your Kaimar not do any resets on the first wave. Second wave, you started with the Seal of Magic. So reset all your abilities. And then important, you don't want in any of this way for your Kaimar to use Abyssal Gaze, because this what it'll do is it is speed tuning away when you get to the boss, and this is the only speed tune that matters at this point is on the boss. You want your Kaimar to start with Phantom Fire, just because he uses his A1, so that allows the dragon to take one turn, and then when you lap around with Kaimar, he has a chance to strip that attack up. It doesn't really matter. I'll probably test if actually having this turn off in my team specifically with my stats will yield a better time, because that way the dragon will be able to kill an arrow and Prince Kaimar, so they won't be taking useless turns all around. But if you specifically are having issues with staying alive because your stats are not that high or someone's dying, maybe a Abyssal Gaze can be serviceable for you in your run, since you'll be stripping that attack up from the boss, and it'll be happy days forever. Again, Kaimar can just do whatever he wants, really. He doesn't have any skills that matter because he only has one that is important. Maybe one way of speeding this up would be having battle on a reflex, and maybe at the boss he'll take more turns where he can just put up poisons, fill up that bar. Because every time we're dealing most of our damage not from stripping, and this is very important. Sorry, I skipped over this. Elenaro cannot combust the boss. So if she combusts, she'll only deal 10% damage, and you'll waste all the damage. So we rather the boss take a turn and take the poison damage from each one of the poisons that we put up, rather than strip them off and only do 10 damage. So if we have a full bar of 9 poisons, it's taking 9 times 5 poison damage percentage, right? Every time he takes a turn. That's why he dies so quickly, and we can do this in a minute. Um, if you combust it, then you wasted all that damage, and it just does caps at 10% because of the passive of the boss. Okay. Pythion. Pythion. In reality, Pythion here is not doing anything except he just bought here for his overlay, just so when we get to the boss, we stack a bunch of heals from battle here. This continuous heal and his own block buffs, debuffs. And what that'll do is it'll stack until we have a bunch of damage mitigation from him. So that way the boss can never kill us. So if you saw, Pythian was never in any type of danger of dying. Um, and again, all of these people are very fast just because I use them in other places like a Hydra. Um, but they don't have to be. You just have to build them to 230 something, 230. As long as you have them that fast, at least for the boss portion of things, you won't have any issues. So I would recommend still trying to build for 250 just because on the waves you'll be able to lap the ads faster. They're not that fast, but because of the speed tune and how I have my champions, whenever I strip or something goes out, my champions might get a little bit more boosting than yours, and that's why my speeds are higher just to compensate for that. But you can just wiggle them around until they fall into place. So that's very pretty straightforward how that's set up. Let me show you the stats, and that will probably wrap it up. And as a bonus, I might show you guys how my team, my Dragon 20 team is set up. But which that one's pretty pretty intense. Corvus, I have Corvus because at some point he was on a tournament, and it just so happens that it was like a Harishma also I think 10x. So I had a bunch of shards saved up from skipping like 2 or 3 fusions, so I ripped them all up and won the Corvus. But if you have Corvus laying around and Linares is not doing anything, because a lot of people thought that because of the 10% the 10% max damage, now we couldn't do Poison Explosion on the hardest setting of Dragon 10. Well, you can use the Cinemans. You can see it's yeah, it is pretty endgame, but this is the hardest Dragon 10. So doing it in 10 minutes is, I think, pretty cool. I've seen other teams that can do it faster, but that would require a bunch of void champions. This is, Battle is a pretty old champion. Pythian was a free champion. Corvus and Elenaros, I know they're pay to win, I know. But Kymar, interesting enough, I did this wrong with Renegade. And Renegade doesn't do all that bad either. She just has another maybe extra 10 seconds just because she doesn't do a full reset. She does a 13 turn reset, but it just extends the time a little bit. Same with a bunch of other teams that I've done, and it just works very well. You can build something similar. Battle, you can actually replace Battle with what's their name? There's someone who does has a very similar kit too. That's an epic champion. It's one of my favorites, and I always forget his name. Her name is right here, Urgrim. So if you use Urgrim, you can replace Battle, basically. The only portion that will be a little bit different is on it has two separate skills. That one puts the continuous heal, and another one puts the poisons. So as you come along, you'll have less continuous heal, so the damage mitigation from Python is going to be less, but the poisons are going to be the same. So there you guys have it. It's a pretty straightforward build. It just uses a bunch of passive to make it a little bit better all around for us, and it works pretty well. So if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. And this is being Elixium. This is being Elixium Plays. See you in the next one.